Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you and some straight fire. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com. I'm supposed to say X instead of Twitter, having a hard time making the simple correction. I'll buy some flashcards after this video. Right now, $3.44 trillion market cap for crypto, and the market's off by 0.7%. Bitcoin, 94,300 plus. Ethereum, 3,200 plus. Tether at the number 3 spot, and it's going back and forth. Look at this, 137.3 billion, 137 billion plus for XRP. The market caps have been flipping back and forth this morning quite often, so keep an eye on it. And look, understand this, we still don't have the real USD being used by Ripple with its enterprise clients in early 25 yet. So I think this is incredible signal here that XRP can be challenging the number 3 spot and at times take the number 3 spot of the largest stablecoin in the world at this point, but not for long. XRP 238, we're up 3.6 on the 24-hour, but still off by 2.8. Let's take a look at the range of price. Ranging between 226 and 242, you can see where the turnaround happened in the last 24. We will keep an eye on it, and we have some charts that you need to see before you get out of here today. Let's start right here. Ripple has teamed up with MoonPay to donate $50,000 worth of real USD to the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation. This is class. This is integrity. Shout out to Ripple and MoonPay both for this. And God bless everyone in California going through all of these fires and the disaster that's happening and wiping out so many families and their lives. In a contentious development during President Joe Biden's final days, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, has introduced a proposal targeting cryptocurrency wallet providers like MetaMask and Phantom. Let's take a look really quickly here. Remember when Mark Cuban told us we should all vote for Kamala Harris? And we all knew Kamala was going to carry the torch of Biden administration? Did we dodge a bullet or did we dodge a bullet? We dodged a big one. In a contentious development during President Joe Biden's final days, this is what's happened over at the CFPB. The rule seeks to classify digital wallet providers as financial institutions under the Electronic Funds Act. And you know what this does immediately. This goes all back to Elizabeth Warren and her Choke Point 2.0 army. That's what we're dealing with here. This is the truth. Believe it, don't believe it, it's still true. But that's what we're talking about here. If they change it so digital wallet providers are looked at the same as financial institutions, now all of a sudden there is a new myriad of height bars, of regulatory height bars, that they won't meet. And then all of a sudden, that's where you're at. You're stuck outside. It's cold out here. Yeah, because if you don't qualify and meet the level of financial institutions and the regulatory compliance there, you won't be allowed to be a digital wallet provider. And this is an extension of Senator Elizabeth Warren. Why the crypto leaders didn't get more behind John Deaton so we could have sent her ass home is beyond me. Travis Hill, vice chairman at the U.S. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, you know, the other agency that was working very hard to push Choke Point 2.0 into play and keep crypto bank from having banks and having banking. Well, now all of a sudden that the sea changes happen in D.C., this guy says there is a need for clear guidance on how banks should manage cryptocurrencies. Well, geez, thanks, Travis. Did you come up with that all by yourself? Oh, boy. We are 9 days away from the new administration, the pro-crypto administration, embracing cryptocurrency to a level of it being an economic pillar of this new administration. Write that one down. All this nightmare business is getting ready to go away. Update very quickly in the SEC versus Ripple case, the ongoing legal battle between the two. Senior District Court Judge Phyllis Hamilton has granted Ripple Brad Garlinghouse CEO requests to seal certain documents and others. So in this ongoing case, it says right here, granted Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse request to seal certain court documents. The decision also applies to the SEC as well, allowing both parties to keep sensitive information confidential as the case progresses to appellate stage. These sealed documents contain exhibits relating to summary judgments and expert testimony. The court approved sealing requests from both Ripple and the SEC. The decision followed the Ninth Circuit's compelling reason rule, which aims to protect sensitive information while balancing public access. Remember, those 1,700 contracts that they had, they sealed those too. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Ripple's requested to seal the 8 exhibits related to their summary judgment and 56 exhibits opposing the SEC's motion, while the SEC sought to seal parts of its exhibits, including expert testimony. The judge found both requests reasonable to ensure fairness as the case progresses. Ripple's success in securing the motion is a small win as the case moves to this next stage. Previously, Ripple won a key ruling. As we all know, XRP is inherently not a security and dealing with major blow to the SEC. However, the fight isn't over, and the SEC is now preparing its main appeal, which could impact cryptocurrency regulation in the U.S. Experts, former Mark Fagel and legal expert Jeremy Hogan, believe the SEC's appeal will be challenging. Pro-crypto voices such as Paul Atkins might also push the SEC to take a more flexible approach, making this case crucial for the crypto industry's future. I say to this, and of course I'm 12 years short of a law degree here, I say to this, watch out, because Judge Falia in the same Southern District of New York has said that all crypto tokens are in fact securities, while XRP has been specifically highlighted to not be a security. So I think the cryptocurrency space broadly is in a bad spot if these two conflicting decisions in the same district are left without challenge. Ripple's Real USD stablecoin sees $100 million in daily volume, aiming to dominate DeFi and global payments in 2025, and we still haven't seen Ripple start using it yet. So you tell me what's getting ready to happen. Yeah, watch out, Ethereum. And right here, look at this. We know the talk has been going around about a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And very quickly, I want to touch on this. I've gotten quite a few engaging comments and messages around a strategic reserve or Bitcoin reserve. Now, Representative Keith Amon proposes a bill in New Hampshire to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. This now is like the 4th or 5th state to take steps to do so without waiting for the federal government to do so on a federal level. So this is interesting. This is David Stravinsky here, the CEO of Sound Planning Group, who's been making a lot of waves. And boy, we got some good news for you, because digital asset investors got a hold of this guy, and he's going to be interviewing him next week. Prepare for the break of the internet. He's going to break the internet with this one. Now I want you to listen to what David Stravinsky says here, because David is not afraid to highlight what we all have understood about Bitcoin. And I have a significant position in Bitcoin, by the way, full disclosure. But we still understand it's not reasonable for payments at this point. Take a listen.
I actually think that there's coins I'm going to make a lot more money in, and that are going to be even more strategic to the future. Because see, the one thing that we don't know about Bitcoin is that we know that it cannot transact quickly. And so because it's unable to transact quickly, we have a time frame right now where this leading asset class, the number one asset class in crypto, which doesn't transact quickly, therefore it's not a really great quick medium of exchange. I think that there's an opportunity for new leadership to come in. And so this is where a lot of the conversations come in, talking about Ethereum and talking about Ripple. And, we've gotten a new Ethereum ETF now. We've not seen the price take off in the same way, though. We're looking at new Ripple ETFs. Now, this is an interesting one because if you'll pay attention for a moment, you'll notice many of these banks out here and their CEOs were dissing Ripple, we're dissing crypto in general, while simultaneously and behind the scenes creating their own coins and preparing for what is very probably upon us right now, which is that at some point in time, there will be a banking challenge and then we will switch over to this system. Now, it would be wonderful to do things not in a crisis, but remember the old adage here, and that is don't waste a good crisis. And it seems like that's been the playbook over the last, decades, but, very, very clearly here in the last 4 or 5 years.
It is so refreshing to see someone come out here. Oh, there's so many questions. I cannot wait for Digital Asset Investor to sit down and have a great conversation with this guy, which I know he is going to. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. And just for the record, what are strategic reserves in the USA? Well, we know obviously oil is one. Strategic National Stockpile, right? Managed by Department of Health and Human Services. This reserve contains critical medical supplies for public health emergencies, right? National Defense Stockpile maintains Defense Logistics Agency. The stockpile holds materials critical to national defense that might not be readily available in times of conflict, like metals, minerals, other strategic materials like cobalt. You get the idea. And strategic grain reserves. Food. It's important to have food on hand in case something happens. You stabilize food prices if you need to, or if there's some kind of food security during a crisis of crop failures or natural disasters. There's multiple other kinds of reserves as well. Water. These things are not unheard of. So the reality is that talking about a Bitcoin strategic reserve and what I think really is a broader conversation, digital asset strategic reserve or stockpile, is just the logical next step, ladies and gentlemen. I really do believe that. Now, here we go. What the hell? It's Friday. Let's break the internet. Lock in, folks. We've always been right. Yes, we have. Bank of America actually did 100% of internal transfers on Ripple for 2 years. Ultimately, the SEC said, hey, there's something going on here. John Deaton and I have spoken with quite a number of Bitcoin multimillionaires, billionaires, and I have been very surprised to hear that many of them are interested in Ripple and another company out there called Stellar. Isn't this what we've been saying that we've seen out here for years and years? Listen to David Stravinsky light it up again.
But XRP, right. Have you? What do you see with that one?
Okay, so that's Ripple. Yeah. So Ripple has a very interesting story. So their whole thing is that they want to be the central bank digital currency coin of choice. They are headquartered right now in Hong Kong. So that's actually a big deal because China wants to become the next Wall Street. And so they're really trying to be pro-positive on crypto, which is part of the reason why I think the SEC made their move for the ETF this year, because they need to do something. But with Ripple, they're a medium of exchange. Bank of America actually did 100% of internal transfers on Ripple. I think it was early 2021 through early 2022 when ultimately the SEC said, hey, there's something going on here. Now, Ripple actually won that case. Here's what I can share with you. It's very efficient, very quick. Bank of America thought that was a better way of internally managing assets going across the border and different things. So I can say this. I have spoken with quite a number of Bitcoin multimillionaires and billionaires, and I have been very surprised to hear that many of them are interested in Ripple and also another company out there called Stellar, which has the ability to ultimately tokenize different assets. Can I explain this real quick? Because I should have said this on the alternative coin part. When the world is changing, basically it looks like this. If you wanted to sell a building, right now and you go, you know what, I could go and try to find somebody, raise the capital, etc. well, what if you could put this inside of a token? You can tokenize this building and sell off percentages of it to different people, but not just any one individual investor. And then that person can trade it or get a loan against it or something else. What blockchain technology is going to give us the ability to do is to tokenize or to get the money into or these assets into an alternative world that isn't necessarily the SWIFT banking system that the United States is ultimately overseeing.
But
There you have it right there. Listen, this is super exciting. I cannot wait for DAI to sit down with this guy. But there are quite a few technical analysts out here saying that we could see a short-term rollover or pullback in XRP price. It's not guaranteed. It doesn't have to happen. But it is an awareness we should all pay attention to because we're seeing multiple technical analysts. So take a look at this. Leb Crypto here says XRP bullish case. He says, still probable as long as we protect the $1 support zone on the next drop. So they're all seeing a new drop coming in. Any weekly closes below $1 is extremely bearish, but bulls ideally want to protect the 194, 196 support zone. That would continue to indicate the great strength. Eggrad Crypto came under this not long ago, but the drop from $4 to $6 region back to $2, lots of people will poop their pants. He's absolutely right on that, but I totally understand that. That's how the market fluctuates. Coins Kid said he's seeing something very similar here, opportunity. Unfortunately, it looks as though XRP is creating a bear pennant on the daily time frame. Pennants tend to be continuation patterns. Compression leads to expansion. There's a move coming here, XRP. Well, you know, this is interesting because, you know, look, for me, if I see this pull back to a reasonable level, I will be getting more of this. I could tell you that right now. That's not even a joke, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm seeing here is that it's just all these different areas of level, like 207 in this particular setup right here, then 196, then 164, right? These are all areas we could see it pull back to or spike down to, right? It could be a slow rollover. What could be the catalyst that could cause the market to react poorly like this? Maybe a tether incident? Some other incident? I don't know. Maybe nothing happens and the charts don't react this way and we get a surprising breakout. All I know is that we want to be aware, we want to be very hypersensitive to this moment in the market so we can make the best decisions possible to protect our portfolios, whether it's the downside or the up, no doubt about it. Well, listen, that's financial advice, not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. And we're going into the freedom zone, ladies and gentlemen. And today we're going to break down where we are today compared to where we were. You won't believe the numbers. It's quite staggering to find out. We all know there's been more money printed in the last 2 or 3 years than in the history of mankind. But wait till you find out just what that really means per family, per household. It is quite staggering. We're going in right now. You can too. Go to digperspectives.com, click the Freedom Zone for next to nothing. It's a great way to support the channel, and we're super grateful for everyone who does. We're going in right now. Come on in. All right, welcome back. Let's